Hello.
Take two.
How's it going?
That's going pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing well. So sports, man. This past week had the all amazing sports Equinox.
Look forward to it every year.
Did you just gobble down every sport you could on Thursday?
No. What? College football. That's about it. I caught a little baseball too.
Okay. Did you see some highlights of a big swing out of Philly? Is that what you saw?
I can't remember that. That's how little I paid attention. I just remember it was on it. I think it was on just in the background while I was prepping everything for the college football pod. But yeah, I would say it was one of those. It feels weird as well, like with the sports Equinox, that basketball's already started. Just give it till like the middle of football season, man.
Yeah.
The NBA season is so long. Like they started what, a week and a half ago?
Mm-hmm.
A week ago, whenever it was. What? Around
my
birthday.
I thought Thursday was the first day.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, it might have been a week ago. So what? Like around my birthday. So mid-June, we'll be wrapping that up. Yeah.
Yep.
They got to play 82 games, Trent, and then the NBA finals are like a whole nother 50 or something like that.
They should start the NBA on Christmas Day. That's game one.
Oh. Well, I'd be down for that, but I'm not an NBA owner and a billionaire that's worried about losing money. So
yeah.
Wait, are you really worried about losing money or not making as much or more than you did last year?
Yeah, you wouldn't be losing.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, it's not a losing business. None of these pro sports are, no matter what they try to tell you.
No,
so
because guess what? If it was, billionaires wouldn't buy into it.
Right.
It always funny, the woe be me concerns that the billionaire owners are like, oh, but if, talking about the cap or like anything in baseball, because there is no cap, you just have to pay them. And they're like, oh, but if we don't have 162 games in our shut the fuck up. You're not going under, I guarantee you pull out their books and they're making more money than even like baseball fans are expecting they'd make.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, billionaires wouldn't be in it if they weren't making money. They didn't become billionaires by losing money.
Yep.
Is it one of the Waltons or is it Kroenke that owns a professional team in every league?
I think that's the Kroenke organization.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He's still a billionaire and he owns a team in every league.
He's got, I want to say he owns the Avalanche, the Colorado Avalanche, but I'm not real sure. He owns the MLS team that's out there in Denver. Like, he owns freaking Arsenal, I think it is, for Premier League.
Lost me a bet this weekend.
Assholes. Stan Kroenke, man. Screw that guy.
I was told by my friend who's a Mets fan, said, jump on the Arsenal train. They're really good. And I put one $5 bet on them, and they tied.
Oh, well, it's a push, right? Does it push at least? You get that money back?
No, because in soccer, you specifically have to bet ties. Because you can end 1-1, too.
Because it happens so much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I almost wonder if I just want to be a soccer draw better. I think that would be, because I'm not going to watch the games anyways, and it seems like it happens way more than it should. So.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have a lot of soccer to bet on here come Christmas time. The World Cup.
Yeah, actually, I need to get into that so I can bet on France versus Germany in the quarterfinals, and I can put my $5 on that. I mean, who gives a shit?
I do not watch soccer, don't follow it, don't care. And I think it's funny how 95% of the people who are going to follow the World Cup are soccer fans for about 2 months every 4 years. And that is not me.
Hey, Hey, remember we all loved Vuvuzelas for 2 months 8 years ago?
Yeah. All right. And that's soccer talk.
Yeah, there we go. Vuvuzelas and I don't think we want to go too much looking into the Qatar, into how Qatar built those stadiums.
No. Well, while we're passing this piss water around, what you guys drinking?
Well, I'm drinking a Michelob Golden Light. Hadn't had one in a while, and Saw they had 24 packs at the Costco when we were there yesterday, so I picked up a case.
They must make that a little different up north.
Yeah.
Well, might.
It's small brand. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Coca-Cola, just Coke.
That's
too crazy on a Monday.
A delicacy, a rare one. I like it.
So microbrew.
Microbrew.
I made a little bit of whiskey sour. So yeah.
So I think I asked this question once off air. And I mean, it was a joke geared towards you, Clark. And I don't know if you were on to hear it, but like Michelob Golden Light, like they cater to Minnesota. Like it's too bright. The barcode on here is the shape of Minnesota.
Oh, nice. Oh. I see it.
Yeah. And like Busch Light, like they cater to Iowa. Like, how come none of the Anheuser-Busch caters to Missouri? Is Missouri that terrible? It's in Missouri, Clark.
Dude, Budweiser owns Busch, dude. They're just cashing in on all you freaking losers out of Iowa.
I know. They got to cater to Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
Cater? No. They just know you're dumb enough to drink their beer.
They go, what do Iowans want? They like John Deere. They like corn. They like camouflage, and they just make their cans with every single one of those.
Yep.
Screw it. Put it on a can.
Notice how they didn't have an international Busch Light can.
Yeah, that's right.
International sucks. John Deere all day.
Well, yeah. Templeton, whiskey sour, Missouri beer. Trent loves it all.
So what'd you make your whiskey sour with there, Clark?
A little bit of sour mix and some Templeton.
So actual sour mix, not just like squirt.
Yeah. So Dean and Chimpo came out here last weekend, and we had a little bit of sour mix left in the fridge. So I figured I'd use it up.
Nice.
Next week it's margaritas. Watch out! I'm gonna have to get some tequila.
Oh Lord.
You having a party or something?
Nope, just me. I had a party and I got leftovers. So
I'd say don't start too far before the pod. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Still from the party in your garage from a year ago last night?
No. This was last weekend when we got it. Dude, all that beer is almost gone. I actually got a few Busch Light tall boys that you brought back then that's still in that fridge.
So maybe they'll still be there the next time I show up.
Yeah, maybe. You got good odds. That fridge holds beer for a long time.
As long as it keeps it cold.
Well, Bryant, since you were just watching college football on Thursday, did you continue on Saturday?
Yeah, dude. I would say the big one. I was back home helping mom winterize the house, but I was kind of in between my breaks. You take a 15-minute break inside and catch the game. And first off, I would say we'll address it on the college football pod way more in depth when Joey. He might be at the stage 5 of acceptance at that point, but man, the Hawkeyes. First off, that it's not even the Hawkeyes looking bad. It was Ohio State just looked dominant. They did what they need to versus that I would say championship caliber defense. But man, that offense I cannot, like, week after week, I can't believe how much of a failure they are right now. I mean, they're not getting any time of possession. They're not giving the defense any breaks. Early on, the defense scored a touchdown. They had a brief lead versus Ohio State, and then you just see them pissing it down their leg. And the biggest bullshit thing, and I want your two's opinion on this, is once the game's well out of hand, we've had is it 7? We've had 7 weeks of college football. They were 3-3 at that point, and they wait until the second half of a game versus the number 2 team in the country, and then they give Padilla a chance here.
Well,
is it really a chance?
Yeah, they don't want to get their. It's probably not a chance. They don't want to get their star quarterback hurt.
Exactly. I mean, I just thought that was bullshit. It was like, all right, prove what you got, and then when he didn't do anything versus, you can argue the best team in the country. Ferentz is just going, well, we told you that's why he's the backup, and that's just dog shit in my opinion. I'm not even an Iowa fan. I should be enjoying that they're actually somewhat at Iowa State's level. We have the same record right now, and I'm not, because it's just like, my God, like, there's just so many opportunities they could have had to win this year and been better, and you're just watching them squander it.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we call that on Thursday night? Yeah, somebody called that. They're going to put him in, and told you so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just unacceptable, man. But I would say they got absolutely throttled when I watched that game. The other big one that I had money on, and I won my bet, and I was a little disappointed by the result, is my second favorite team is Syracuse. And early on, it was 21-10 at half. Syracuse was leading Clemson at Clemson. And then you get into the second half where, again, Clemson didn't even have a quarterback controversy until their quarterback did nothing the first half. Second half, same thing. And then they replaced him with a 5-star freshman that has had some potential. I've seen him in a couple games. And then it was just enough of a spark for them to get ahead. And there was a couple penalties that were really self-induced. I would say some people were saying that the fix was in, but they had stopped this 5-star. I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head, but the freshman 5-star from Clemson, he was running out of bounds, and one of the defensive linemen got slightly pushed, and he used that enough to forearm shiver this kid when he was already out of bounds and caused a 15-yard penalty. Then it was another, I think it was second or third down, and then it was an unnecessary roughness, and it was just enough where Clemson, they're pushing at him, and Clemson was playing to, I think Steven's alluding to it as well, they're playing to lose. They weren't playing to try and keep the lead. They took their foot off the gas, and Clemson came back, and you can't do that. They're too good of a team to just lay back and go, we're going to play prevent, and we're going to keep it in front of us. Well, they're a good enough team, and they have good enough athletes. They're going to run the whole field, and then they're going to run past you once you're in the red zone.
I always say a prevent defense only prevents you from winning.
Iowa State does a lot too.
I hate it. They're so good defensively. It's like you got up by playing your normal defense. Play your normal defense. Just don't get burned. You don't need to give a 15-yard cushion. I hate prevent defense. I
hate because especially if we're going to change to Iowa State for a second, we are getting better athletes than we ever have before, but we're still not competing with top programs. So when some of these programs have the speed that Iowa State doesn't, and they do catch a pass underneath, they're going to outrun the safeties. It's just, I don't know. It was very frustrating. I did have only Syracuse covering 13.5, and that's kind of what we, again, everyone that kind of wants our picks and the teams that we actually do watch, listen to our Thursday live pod, because a lot of the, locks of the week that we've been calling pretty well, lately in college football.
One of those of which was the Oklahoma State money line by yours truly this week. Trent had the spread that way.
Yeah, so
we're both right. Lock it in.
Yep.
Brad took Bears plus 8.5 tonight, which looks amazing right now.
Amazing. Great call.
Shit took money line.
The one thing that's got to concern you is when I was about to put Patriots covering the game as well, and then I heard Mac Jones was starting and I just never got that. Zappe has been on fire the last few weeks, and I know Jones is the starter, but it's not like you have a lot of money in the guy, and I think it was a little bit more respect, but they gave him the start, and once he wasn't doing anything, they just pulled him right out, and Zappe had 2 back-to-back scoring drives. So Mac Jones, I guess Indianapolis has a new quarterback they're going after.
Indianapolis is starting their new starter this week. They set the highest paid quarterback in the NFL on the bench for this next week. They already announced it.
He does have an injury, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Trent.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Well, but they said this isn't just a 1 week thing. This isn't the injury. This is the rest of the season. It's Sam Ehlinger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, we're back.
Well, tune in Thursday. We'll get a little more college football talk. Yeah. And let's move on to the NFL.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Vikings riding a bye this week. No worries. Anything notable happen up there in Minnesota this week, Trent? Any moves?
Well, we had a player get arrested in Miami on Sunday, so there's that. But he was a backup offensive lineman who'd played 3 snaps all season. We're probably going to get OBJ You heard it here first. Post the Heartland breaking news. I don't know where he's going. Nobody knows right now, but there are speculations. Could be Chiefs, could be Minnesota. But it's probably going to be Minnesota because he wants to win a championship. So Here we go. Go to Minnesota.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's good to have a bye right now. We have Washington and then the Cardinals. So very good chance of going into that game with the Bills at 7-1. So, that's a buzzsaw right there. So, but Washington, we played them this week, I believe. They just beat the Packers. I mean, the Packers are hot garbage, but they still won with Heineke.
Watch out for Heineke, man.
You got Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, this week and then Washington. Okay, I had them mixed up. But Arizona, I mean, they just let's all take the under on Thursday night, and then Arizona covers the under on their own. Dicks.
Hey, the two where it's always should be where I've been saying hit the unders Thursday nights and with Justin Fields starting. I didn't bet either of those this week. I just had that feeling in my stomach, So
had that little tingle down there in your nether regions.
Yeah, in my nether regions. I just knew something wasn't right. That's for sure. But I don't know. I would say we'll have to. We haven't sent out the spreads in a couple weeks because Trent's still leading the road to 272. But I made a pretty decent comeback this week. I think I went 10-4 with my picks.
You did have a good week. Well, what's going on tonight? Just depends on what's going on.
Oh, I lost it already. It was Patriots covering the first half, 4.5 points.
Okay, gotcha.
And I was so pissed because once I heard Mac Jones was starting, I almost went the opposite just because I was like, Mac Jones isn't going to do shit. And I don't know. He's never sold me on, like, even before Josh was really, coming into his own last year and people were like, Mac Jones could be the next Tom Brady. I just never really bought into him last year.
Yeah. I didn't either. But now your guys' teams, the Chiefs, they played the 49ers. I think the biggest storyline of that game was Brock Purdy getting some snaps.
Well, the man we all know and love, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yes.
First Mr. Irrelevant in history to complete a pass in the NFL.
Complete his first pass.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice little 30-yard gain, something like that.
Yeah, 20. He had a couple. I mean, 20? If you're Mr. Irrelevant and they're calling those plays, you got to take those chances. You were the last pick in the draft. You're getting an opportunity. You might as well sling it and see what happens.
Yep.
I mean, it was against the Chiefs' second team, so which was their starters because their second team is starting due to injuries. So
he's San Fran's third team, so he's looking pretty good for being a third team.
Yep.
They're
like he had a few passes like, "Ooh, watch out, Jimmy," and then he had a few passes like, "Yeah, this job's still Jimmy's easy."
yeah, he's still Mr. Irrelevant and a rookie.
Yeah, crazy. I would have never expected a very absurd turnover to happen with Brock Purdy at quarterback. I haven't seen that for the last 4 years.
Not since January.
Not so. God, that volley spike to the Clemson defender for a pick six. I will never forget that in my life.
Yeah,
that was just awful. But let's talk some positives. Not jokingly positive. Chiefs got beat by the Bills the week previous. Then everything looked like it was not really trending the right direction. Where all of a sudden the San Fran's going all in on CMC. You're hearing about how he's going to be at the game. I was just like, great. We're just going to be, it's going to be another loss because you were just going to have the best running back in the league go off somehow. But I don't know. Chiefs, when he was in, they played him pretty well. He still was gaining like 9 yards a carry, I think.
Easy.
But yeah, he was. Chiefs looked good. It was a get right game. Jimmy G, I don't know, man. When you take away that you're not worried about a guy that's going to sling the ball, you can just kind of play up like that. And they got a few. They got that. I think they had an early lead, didn't they? Like 14-0 or something, or 10-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mahomes had that interception and everything else, but it was just.
I think it was Chiefs. It was 10-0.
Did what they were supposed to.
10-0, and then the Chiefs got a touchdown. So.
Yep.
So it was one of those. I had family in town, and I had to leave, and I hated it. And as a Chiefs fan, we're spoiled right now because it's like, fuck, I'm leaving it in a very like a 1-point spread game. People are texting me like, oof, man, the Chiefs aren't looking good in the first half. And then I'm like, at supper, I kind of get like a little brief. I'm going to check my phone. I look and it's 28-16. I go, oh, okay. Yep. We pulled it out like we always do. Put the phone down, enjoyed my meal.
No doubt there. Yeah, they just look dominant. Like, a little slow start, but then they just come out and just looked dominant.
Clyde was not hitting some holes that he should have. I don't know what it is, man. He sometimes struggles with it. You'll have a 2-3 lineman wide hole, and he just runs at the pile. I don't know if his head's just down and he's just bull rushing or what, but he misses some easy runs,
Which is probably why we're seeing Pacheco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's been nice. Also, running back by committee, they can't rely. I mean, you're not going to have the ground and pound like CMC, and his body's just been torn down from all the injuries and stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they ran the ball really well as a team. Had the stable going. You got Pacheco pounding it. McKinnon getting around the edge. He had a couple really nice runs. And then 2 of their scoring plays were jet sweeps to freaking Hardman. So
McCole had a run for a touchdown, didn't he, too?
McCole Hardman? Is that what you said? Yeah, he had 2. He had 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving.
Yep, I didn't have him in fantasy. If you pick someone on the Chiefs, the other wide receiver is going to go off that week. It is just how it always runs, man.
I mean, you still pick Travis Kelce every single day, no doubt. Because this man right here leading the board. I don't know. So there's another tight end out there who had been pretty freaking close there with Kelce neck and neck. And that guy had 0 catches, 0 yards. But he did have a really nice pitch to Lamar Jackson. Like he took the snap and then did the little pitch out. It was a nice looking play. A little trickery there. I like it.
He pitched to the running back?
Yes, Lamar Jackson.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so Travis Kelce, he kind of pulled away there a little bit, got a game under his belt. Fun fact, him and George Kittle had the exact same number of catches and yards, but Kittle got the touchdown this week. He finally got the monkey off his back and got in the end zone.
Well, good for him.
Yeah,
I would say Kelce had to give him some shine after that 4-touchdown performance.
No doubt. I was really disappointed there. They had Kelce in whenever all the other starters are out. Got Chad hitting on the field, and they're trying to get Travis one more catch, get him over 100 yards, like keep I think it's like 32 games with 100+ yards or something like that. I don't know if that's for his career or if it was a streak. I have no idea. I don't think it's a streak.
Well, it couldn't have been because the Raiders, I thought he only had like 70 yards because they were all like dink and dunk touchdowns.
It must have been total for career.
The game he had 4 touchdowns. He only had 25 yards.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so
there's the fewest ever by a receiver to have 4 touchdown catches in a game, and I think the second lowest was like 90. And he did it with 25.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me. Remember that Jerome Bettis 5 rushes for 1 yard and 3 touchdowns? That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
The old bus.
So Chiefs look dominant. I loved it going into the bye week. Great game. You can just relax, take it easy this week, see what happens else in the league. Just kind of take it easy, knowing your team looks good. You know what? And it's a great time because apparently Patrick Mahomes, Juju, Trav, and MVS are just going to be playing Call of Duty all weekend. Sounds like.
A little Warzone. Go to Caldera, a little Fortune's Keep, I wonder if they just if they say that just like to get shade at like, they played Kyler earlier, so but they've got to know.
They got to know, but then you look at Juju, he has his own esports Team Divergent. Check it out. Yep. He founded his own. He was in FaZe Clan. Watch out, big esports team. He left them, said, I'm doing my own thing. He has that going. So I kind of wonder if this is a little promo, if he's getting anything from Call of Duty. I mean, as you can tell, they don't mind spending money on promotion. Like, here's a commercial, and it's nothing but like 15 different celebrities we gave way too much money to and filmed them for like 5 seconds. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're handing out money to like that to players.
Yeah, no gameplay in that commercial, just celebrities walking around.
Here's Nicki Minaj in a camo vest.
I'm sure she
has a lot of side boob.
I'm sure she's played a lot of Call of Duty in her day too.
That's exactly what my wife asked me. She's like, "Do you think Nicki Minaj has really played Call of Duty?" I was like, she's got an ungodly amount of money, doesn't have to do anything with her days. Like maybe she has, maybe she just loves to sit at home play Warzone. I have no idea, but not what I took.
She reminds me more of like Call of Booty, but that's just me.
Oh, good grief! So. Well, there were some really great games other than watching them Chiefs dominate the Niners out in the Bay. Anybody catch your eye this week?
Catch what? I'm sorry.
Any teams out there catch your eye? Was there any game that you were impressed with?
I think the thing that more stands out, well, this is kind of skipping a few bullet points here, not teams that are good, but teams that are exceptionally bad right now that are supposed to be good. That's what caught my eye. The Packers, the Buccaneers.
Chargers.
Yeah, they can't win. Again, the Broncos, they were supposed to be good. They, scored less than 10 points again versus or did they score 10, I think?
Ripien looked just as good as Russell Wilson out there.
I said that. Yeah, I think I said that in text. I'm like, they could do just as good with him and not spend $250 million on Russ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what caught my eye was these teams that were supposed to be so good this year. Terrible. The Packers breaks my heart being in the NFC North. See them lose again.
Oh, you just hate to see it, don't you?
Yeah, like the Vikings have an off week and they can't even get a half a game back. So, man,
it's a damn shame.
Terrible.
No, I'll be honest, man. The thing that hurt me the most, because like I said, Chiefs win. I'm not really too big of a fan on a lot of other teams in the league. But, man, my heart broke when I heard about Breece Hall getting his ACL torn.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing that stuck out this weekend, man.
Dude had been tearing it up, like starting to come alive out there in New York.
Yeah. And the play was just a run-of-the-mill, everyday play in the NFL. Like, didn't cut, like, didn't come down weird, like nothing. It's just he just got tackled. It sucked.
No, and he was definitely like leading the campaign right now for Offensive Rookie of the Year. It felt kind of good though that he was such an impact. I mean, there's a lot of national writers that were, I don't know if they were Kenneth Walker versus Breece Hall at the draft, but once you see like for our teams that have never had a lot of national recognition, and your rookie running back that just started year to school is now everyone was. Oh, man, this is absolutely terrible. Breece Hall was leading the way. It kind of felt nice to feel that recognition. Everyone knew he was a good star. We've seen it for years, but they're finally seeing it in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's bad. Seems like a good dude, too. Didn't happen to him.
Yeah. No, I'd say and it's confirmed. I think he's out for the season as well.
Meniscus and ACL.
Yeah, so... I don't know. Hopefully, speedy recovery for him and comes back stronger next year.
Yep.
So Breece is down, and the Jets moved quickly. They got on the blocks and picked up James Robinson out of Jacksonville. Travis Etienne's been taken off, so Robinson hasn't been seeing much time. So the Jets gobbled him up. Going to have him running. So I don't think you'll see much out of Michael Carter still. I mean, Robinson was a force whenever he was getting the ball. Yeah,
early in the year, he was scoring about 18 to 22 points a game. And then Etienne on my team as well, who, he came back and all of a sudden he just – I was surprised how fast, like, he just took over. Usually it's like when you have a guy that's dominating like that, you kind of split it by committee, and then they just – in 3 weeks, they just gave him every carry at that point.
Do you think that has anything to do with the chemistry he already has with T-Law?
Absolutely. Look at Burrow. I think people are seeing, and Burrow wasn't the first one, but, Burrow going, I want Jamar. And then they see the connection that he and Jamar have, that was that, I would say, because after that 1 year wasn't, were Jamar and Lawrence drafted in the same year? I'm wondering if my timeline is 1 year off, because I was gonna say, but again, you see, Burrow that's going, I want this guy that I played with. I know he's awesome. First off, it was a solid pick anyway. Clemson had been dominant with those two playing, so I think a lot of it has to do with it. And him having all last year to study the playbook and be ready compared to, he was also recovering from injury. But
Yep. Other big moves, Christian McCaffrey heads back home, Stanford, out to the Bay. He got traded on Thursday and he was playing by Sunday. Like, that's just absurd.
Once they get him off a pitch count, they're going to be scary. I'm glad if we had to play him with CMC that we got him the first game.
Yeah, on 3 days with the team.
yeah, we got very lucky on that, to be honest, because like I said, the few times where he broke away, he was looking fantastic. And God, I don't know what it was with those Niner uniforms with the black outline on the numbers. God, those are pretty.
Yeah,
those look fucking awesome.
Yeah. I guess they said on Thursday he got on a plane to go to San Fran, and he asked for the playbook then. So he got the playbook right away. Not that he can learn the whole thing in 2 days, but
they said, take Jimmy G's. He doesn't need it.
You can still he can still look through that and be like, oh, I know these plays. If you're going to call them, these are the ones I know, right? So just give me those.
Yeah.
Well, and they even said, like, in the huddle, they're like, if he doesn't know what he needs to do, I will just tell him, which I'm surprised they don't do that more often,
Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen. This was another injury from the weekend. This is Daniel Bellinger, tight end for the Giants. I don't know if y'all saw this, but he got hand inside his face mask on a tackle, poked his eye. Like, his left eye there just, like, swollen shut and bleeding.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was nasty. It's not a very good picture of it, but if you can go find it on Twitter or whatever, it was not great.
Wear them visors, bud.
Jesus.
Yeah. I bet he does wear a visor after this.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I would.
For sure.
You do mention on here the surprising teams. I don't know if that's what you're going to get to. Jets, I think everyone's kind of on that train now with the Jets. I'm really shocked overall with how Geno Smith is leading the Seahawks as well as he is.
Mm-hmm.
Can Pete Carroll and that Seattle front office not be any happier with how this season is going?
Absolutely. And Geno's been there a couple years to learn that playbook. So it's not like he just came in and is a whiz kid. He's been there learning the system, and I guarantee he's been sitting there in the background of those meetings, hearing Pete say we need to do this, Russ wanting to cook, doing whatever the fuck he wants, and it was basically learning from what the other person did wrong. Just instead of doing this, I'm just going to do the polar opposite. I see in real time what not listening to the coach does, and that's all Pete needs is he just a manager, Which honestly, look back all the way to USC. Matt Leinart was a good quarterback, but he never made it in the NFL. Well, maybe Pete Carroll was leading him just enough to, get enough pressure off of Reggie and Lindale just so they can, our horses can run, and then it'll create a wide open. Who was running back? What, Mike Williams? That was wide receiver one.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going all the way back to even then. So I don't know. Seahawks. It's no skin off my nose if they're good or not. So proud of them. Kenneth Walker had a day too. That's kind of nice seeing these rookies coming into the league. Which if you're a running back, you got to make your impression early on. You only got until you're like 27.
No doubt. Which, speaking of running backs trying to get their career, Josh Jacobs had a day down there for the Raiders.
Yes.
160 yards and 3 touchdowns, I think it was. Like, just went off. Last game, he had an amazing day. Like, I'm kind of surprised. Did McDaniel come into Vegas? Because he started off slow with his relationship with Jacobs. Like, he had him playing in the Hall of Fame game. Nobody does that. Started off slow. It seemed like they're, keeping him kind of limited. And now they've just let him off the leash. Like, dude's out there eating.
Well, yeah. I mean, no offense. I mean, Derek Carr is not going to be the one that can Patrick Mahomes or take you to the next level. So you got to have your running back that's going to be able to take enough pressure off of him to, again, open stuff up, open up the pass with the run. So, yeah, I mean, as long as they don't do it versus the Chiefs, I'm okay with the Raiders beating everyone else. It makes our win over them look just that much better. So,
yeah. I mean, granted, he did it versus the Texans, but he's been having a good season. Just what 20? I'm looking right now. 20 carries, 143 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So
I was kind of torn between a couple running backs in that game for old Cubby's fantasy this week. I was on the fence between Josh Jacobs and Dameon Pierce, and I like to say I chose right this week. So
good. Yeah, well, you're only beating everybody else by 30 points, so screw you.
And I'm going to give a lot of that credit to the Dallas defense. Thank you for those 42 points this week. 5 turnovers. Kept them under 7 points. That's 30 points right there for my score. So
how can the Lions, like, I thought they were going to kind of take a step in the right direction with Dan Campbell. And
they started off looking like it this season. Like
they did. Like, their games were close, even though they were losing. And man, now that's terrible.
Dan Campbell's career, he is 0-11-1 on the road. So next time, road to 272. It won't be this weekend. They play at home, but next road to 272. When you're looking at the Lions and you're looking at some spread and stuff, anytime on the road, just bet against them.
Are they? Is that 0-11 against the spread? Because I'm pretty sure I've picked them against the spread a few times.
0-11-1 just straight up.
I'll say they've actually done good for me against the spread this year. I've picked them many times.
Sorry, I was just saying, with 272, some of us bet the spreads all the time. So
Captain Moneyline over here to my left doesn't.
I'm just kidding. He's picking more spreads and he keeps winning, and it's pissing me off. So
yeah, I mean,
you mean mad. Mr. Moneyline over there, Mr. Moneyline?
Is that Joey? We can say that because he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, it's way better to talk about people behind their backs when they can't rebut, lies.
Yeah.
Just a lot of misinformation out there. But yeah, Campbell not too good. Did you guys see the story of at the Bucs game that there was referees caught getting autographs?
Yes,
Mike Williams. Yeah, there's video of him in the tunnel. I saw the video.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. Mike Evans.
When I first heard the story, they're like, this star on a team that didn't perform well was seen giving out an autograph. And I thought, oh, my God, Tom Brady's signing autographs for the refs. How perfect is this? And then I saw the clip, and it was Mike Evans. I'm like, okay.
Hey, I get it. You have to have your rules all the time where, you can't take any autographs. It just has to be black and white. But it's like, they didn't even cover the spread and they lost. I mean, that should be the exception. Hey, we completely actually didn't do you any favors and fucked you. Can I have your autograph? And then they can tell them to piss off.
Yeah, the refs didn't help them at all. They couldn't be helped. The Buccaneers are so bad right now.
So bad.
I don't know. I think they should reduce the referees' pay because they always do terribly. It seems like they're just inconsistent. But you get one autograph a game. And it can't be multiple of the same person. Only one person gets a Patrick Mahomes autograph. Next person has to go down to Harrison Butker. Next person has to, you have to gradually.
They do it like snake draft style.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, of course. So they'll make a huge issue out of that. And anything that honestly no one could give two shits about. I mean, I do get if they would have won and covered in a controversial call, I do understand, but they lost. They didn't even cover. So
yeah.
Did either of you check in on old Atlanta this week?
Well, their streak ended.
Yeah.
They're not a winning streak. It was.
I was riding that to the end. I guess it's over.
That's all you can do, though, at that point. I mean, it was Cooper Rush all over it. You have to ride the ride until you've gone too far. I won plenty of money on it that I'm okay losing this last one.
Oh, yeah.
The worst is like when you hear a stat, a bet I lost this weekend. South Carolina, all-time 0-8 versus Texas A&M. So what do? They shove it down their throat, and they beat them with ease. Just You know, I'm a statistician. I'm trying to use my brain over here, and you're telling me they never win, and then when I bet it, they just, you know, I can't call it the first time ever. You know,
always a time for a first, Bryant.
That streak has to end sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, rip Atlanta covering the spread. I couldn't tell you anything about their team or their overall record, but 6-1 against the spread, the most important part.
They are 3-4 on the season. So
yeah. The Bengals 35-17.
They caught the Bengals looking like the playoff contenders they were last year.
Yeah.
Whenever they went to the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow had a day.
Yeah,
like 35 completions, like 480 yards and 3 touchdowns or something like that.
He had what do you have? 300 in the first half, I think.
Oh, I have no idea.
It might have been more than 300.
He had 28 points in the first half, so
he was going fucking bananas. But yeah, 34 for 42, 481 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
All touchdowns to Jamar Chase, correct?
No,
Jamar had 2.
Boyd.
2. Okay, I thought he had 3.
No. Yeah. Poor Falcons, man. But I think they got more wins than Joey thought they would at this point. So,
do you guys mind if I say one thing just to vent about my fantasy team real quick?
Go for it.
I lost my fantasy football, and it's PPR. There's some quarter points for like first down, stuff like that. It's a really weird league. I lost by 3.5 points because I had St. Brown for the Lions get injured after one play. So he only had 1 point. And then I had Breece Hall, who had a season-ending injury, and he was out over half the game, and I lost by 3 points. Otherwise, everyone else had minimum double-digit points. I was going bananas, and then they had the Cowboys defense. They literally had everyone that could have countered it just perfectly.
Well, if you want to hear the complete opposite in fantasy football, the other 149 people in our league had to line up, and Clark got to kick us all in the nuts this week.
Wow.
This guy.
Yes, that's what happened.
I had Joe Burrow in my lineup, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Jamar Chase, the Cowboys defense. Like, it was absurd.
The fuck did you buy a lottery ticket afterwards?
If I win this week, I should. Yeah, if this game, so I traded out my kicker. So I was up by 30 points going into this game. I traded out my kicker, only had 5. Took Nick Folk, who ain't done crap yet. I don't believe. I haven't checked on the score.
A couple extra points. That's about it, though.
Yeah, those don't count for anything. Just field goals. So.
Nope, then nothing so far.
Yeah, nothing. But I'm not real worried because nobody else is really putting up 30 points.
So you have to have.
If anybody took the Patriots defense, that's not getting anything. Like, no. I think the people close behind me each had a defense that had like 10 points. So they're looking for that defense to hit tonight, and I'm sure they took the Patriots.
If they had Cairo Santos, maybe he's on his 4th field goal.
I should have taken Santos like Trent did. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Now he's 4 for 4 with a 50-yarder in there. So
perfect.
I was looking today, like he hadn't even made he was like, no, he was 1 for 2 on 50-yarders and 1 for 2 on 40-yarders. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do that.
It's like a monsoon there in New England early today.
Is it? Because I saw the picture of the weather, and then I looked up Foxborough's weather, and it was clear skies for tonight. Yeah. Is it really raining?
This was from like this afternoon is when I saw.
I haven't even turned the game on, so I don't know if it is raining or not.
Once Ryan sent us that tweet that said bet the under, I knew it was going to go over because that's just the luck of the NFL. Hey, monsoon, the field's not going to be dry at this point. Mac Jones is starting, and the other one is Justin Fields. So, of course, they're going to hit the over. The over-under was 40 points, but, it still hit the actually, they're pushing right now. If it was 40.5, they're at 40 total points currently.
Yeah, I think the over-under, whenever I looked this afternoon, was at 39.5. And I was like, I think I'm going to take that. So I did. And
the over?
No, the under.
Oh, sorry, bud.
I'm going to blame it on bad information from our guy who's not here.
Send him a Venmo request for the money that you lost.
Yeah, give me my $2 back, you loser.
Yeah, you hoser.
Well, you guys got anything else for the NFL? Chiefs are moving into bye week this week, so smooth sailing.
Really. Is there one thing that you think they need to work on, or that you're hoping that they improve on going into the following week?
So trade deadline is coming up. That is on November 1st.
Okay.
We know that they've cleared up some cap space by converting Travis Kelce's contract into straight cash, homie. So it cleared up some cap space. I think it's like $3 million at least.
Yep.
What do you think they're going to do, Brian? I think they're looking for a defensive move, maybe a defensive end, or maybe looking for some help in the backfield.
I don't know, man. Like it wouldn't shock me if they did. To be honest, I think we need to see more McKinnon. He has been stellar this year. Pacheco, he does his, he's got rookie mistakes, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think it's not consistent. But I don't think we need help on the defensive line. Frank Clark looks amazing right now.
He looked great this last week.
I think that contract, it was kind of Frank Clark, he took the reduced contract and he had more incentive base, and you're going, wow, this is what you're supposed to see. A higher productive, more, he's in the game. You feel like he's just not checked out. Last year, which I think a lot of the terrible attitude that we had last year got sent off to New Orleans, because now all of a sudden you're not hearing anything from that defense, Chris Jones, no one, other than, unnecessary roughness or roughing the passers that get called accidentally.
Yeah, Chris Jones out here talking mean to Matt Ryan.
But
did that ever come out like what he said?
No.
What's that?
Nothing ever came out about what he said?
No.
Nope.
It's either so bad that they don't want to say it and put it out there, or it was so lousy they don't want to put it out there so the fans criticize the refs.
Yeah, either way, it's lousy. I mean, just tell us what it was.
Right?
I mean, it just, even like was it us that were talking about, like, yeah, Matt Ryan and him are friends, and they're like, how the fuck did that get called? I heard that from somewhere where it was just, they're kind of friends off the field, and they're talking like, how the hell did that get called? Ryan's gonna take it, obviously. He wants to beat him, but like,
yeah,
I don't know. I can't imagine what is the worst thing that Chris Jones could have said. And
so
we have ever. Go ahead.
You say that, and it just makes me think of a couple neighbors here, and they used to always joke about his wife's my side piece, just joking all the time. So maybe it was something like that. Are they really that close? Or he's like, hey, I'm gonna have fun with your wife tonight or something? Like, is that what he said? The ref's like, oh my god, flag.
You're my bitch or something. I mean, I'm trying to even think like the worst thing that you could say. That you're in a heated battle. You just made a big play, and now you have to worry about what you say in case someone judges your words as what they are being way worse. But also the other thing I was going to say, I'm watching the slow motion replay of Billy Zappi's pass just getting batted down. In the background, I saw two of those cones that have microphones in there that pick up every sound on the field. Can't tell me not one of those was aimed at Chris Jones, and they could have figured it out, especially on a sack where you're trying to focus on the sound of the crunch of the pads, and nothing was picked up there.
They've got it.
They do. They don't want our sensitive ears to burn, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We might even be offended.
So yeah. I might blush. I'm blushing right now, actually. So no, I don't know. It honestly, if anything, I think it got the Chiefs straight. So I'd rather lose the Colts that has no implications on the playoffs, and we got our team straight. And do we only lose to the Bills by 4 if we don't have that loss already where we get locked in? If we go in with big heads, I think maybe they even win by more.
Probably. No, I'm thinking, they cleared money up to make a move. They're watching for the right piece. So I honestly trust in Veach. Whatever move they make, I think will be the right one. I mean, Juju, he's taking some time, but it looks like the right move. I feel like their offense is better now than it was with Tyreek. So I'm saying
do we really have a need for a true number one receiver like OBJ? I mean, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, your true number one is Travis Kelce. That's what that offense is built around. And I feel like Juju's kind of hit that point where he fills in that gap very well. And then you got MVS who's starting to get over the top. Like,
Cole, he knows the system. He knows they know how to use them. I mean, I think we're kind of fine right now. To be honest.
Feel like the Chiefs offense hit their stride this week. And so hopefully they can build on it in the bye and come out just looking. Andy Reid after the bye week, put all your money on the Chiefs, by the way, this next week.
Well, it's also the Titans at home on Sunday Night Football. Fucking easiest bet of my life, dude.
You think Derrick Henry goes for about 700 yards?
I don't think the love of Joey's life is gonna do that. I do not think so. Joey would 100% go gay for Derrick Henry. I'm pretty sure he's told me that several times, but he loves that man, and I get it. Like you said, Joey loves the Big Ten football of a powerful running back, bursting up the middle, strong defense. Well, he's got the running back to bust through something, I guess. I don't know.
All right. Well, moving on. Anything else for the NFL? Any wrap up?
No.
Okay. Wrap it up. Moving on to the movie minute. First one, we're going to get it going here with the House of the Dragon finale.
Trent, you got cut up on all 10 hours, right?
No, I actually watched all the Game of Thrones and then into this. So all like 80 hours.
Wow.
All of it. Yeah.
What a champ.
Yeah. All caught up.
So I know they said that, this kind of works hand in hand with the last episode 9.
Yeah.
Reading the books, I read the book. I'm through this part. In the book, it all plays out at the same time. So yeah, this very much on the other end of seeing Rhaenyra's reaction to her father's passing, the King Viserys. So, any strong impressions from this episode, Bryant?
So, we won't spoil it right away. But by the way, obviously, if you haven't watched House of the Dragon and you don't want it spoiled, you might just want to honestly skip the last 10 minutes of this episode here. But it was interesting to see this. This is it kind of led to a boring 2 hours. I'll be honest. There was about 10 minutes of action, but it was interesting to see that kind of the drama of in the previous episode trying to find Aegon, name him king, dragon comes through the dragon pit. But then seeing, like you said, in real time now, the opposite end of Princess Rhaenyra, hearing about her father's passing, having the crown given to her, and all of a sudden, Daemon is doing what, he's trying to protect her and being doing the best thing he can and prepping everyone and getting what's the large dragon the Bronze Fury?
His dragon?
Yeah, the one he went into the cave for.
Oh, that's Vermithor. That was Viserys' dragon, right?
Vermithor, thank you. Okay, I was like 90% sure it was, but he went in. He's getting dragons ready. They're trying to count up armies and stuff, and then finally someone said, "It's like, who cares how many houses we have? We have dragons." So that was the biggest thing. There were 13 versus 4 at that time.
Yeah.
But it was you know what? It's as silly as it sounds. I thought one of the coolest parts of the episode was lighting all the candles and seeing the table light up like it was like LED lights.
Did you not get on like Etsy or something and see if you can just get a kitchen table that does that at home right away?
There's some nerd that's already doing that. I can tell you. For sure. But
that's freaking sweet.
But no, I really love this episode. It like I said, it didn't feel like. The penultimate is supposed to lead to really big action, which I don't want to jump to the end conclusion just yet. But like this one was kind of interesting to see kind of everyone, their call of arms, coming together, remind them on who we are and stuff. And it's the thing that sucks is it's 2 years until the next season. So Trent, you actually do have plenty of time to get caught up on everything before season 2.
Or you can rewatch Breaking Bad. Just saying.
Well, I already know I enjoy Breaking Bad, so let's watch that.
Trent doesn't like new things. We know this.
I never got into it. Never did.
Clark, how'd you love the Sapphire reveal?
Dude, I feel like they did that moment very much justice from how it was displayed in the book. That's the kind of tensive moment that is played out the same by all accounts through the book. So the book, Dance or Fire and Blood, kind of plays it out where a lot of the accounts vary from writer to writer. So it's kind of like somebody gathering all these histories and then putting it all into one book, Fire and Blood. And so this is one account that was the same across the board, because there were people in that room watching this play out where, the young boys, Rhaenyra's young boys, are sent out as messengers to recruit these great houses to their cause. And
that was what was the younger one that was sent to Baratheon? That was Luke, wasn't it?
Luke, yeah, Lucerys. Jace is the older boy, so
yeah, Jace Luke is going out to Winterfell for Stark.
Yep. So Jace is sent north to go recruit from the Vale, and then from House Stark up in the north, and then the younger boy, is given the safer mission to head just across the bay to Storm's End to treat with his aunt's family, or her distant family members, in-laws. I think she was actually House Baratheon or something like that.
Yep.
Anyways, she's sent there, to gather that cause, which I think shall be easy, only to find they're a little slow getting there. So
that was so. The one thing that I liked about getting towards the end here, before we spoil it, is we always see these dragons flying in the air, and you're going, "Oh, they're big," but or you see the dragon pit, and you see how many people fit in there, like, "Oh, that is a big dragon compared to that building." And then you see Vhagar next to the Storm's End, and that fucker looks like a brontosaurus. Like his fucking neck is going around. Like that's when all of a sudden you're seeing the size of, okay, here's Luke's dragon, kind of a smaller adolescent dragon, and then you're seeing the largest dragon. Oh, I think it's second.
No, at that time, Balerion the Dread is dead, so it is the largest dragon in the world.
So the largest dragon in the world compared to this you're like, oh, okay, that's where it clicked for me, the size difference in these dragons, and then I mean the eye for an eye thing, which I thought was kind of I get it. I'd be pissed if I lost an eye too, but I thought we kind of had agreement. You get the biggest dragon in the land, and I took your eye.
Yeah, you said you would have given that eye 1,000 times over, you bitch. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't go back on your word.
Yeah.
You asshole.
Yeah.
Aemond the asshole.
I'll take that moment again, though, and say that I had to turn up my brightness to see what color that gem in his eye socket was, because it was very dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little sapphire, a little dark blue there, but...
Yep.
But then, Luke, let's admit, he looked like a little bit of a bitch when he's like, no, I'm going to leave. And thankfully they broke up the fight before. And then he's like kind of sprinting as fast as he could to his dragon. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. And then flew off. But no, that I would say that the big part that we were all alluding to, that dragon fight was awesome. It wasn't as much fire and everything that I expect, but they really built up the dramatics of like, for anyone that's listening to the audio, and Trent who can't, just visualize, you have this smaller dragon flying through these. There's a thunderstorm going on at the same time, and lightning's going off, and you're kind of seeing how much rain and how much you can't see. And probably one of the best pictures was him flying, and then above him, when lightning struck, just the large shadow of Vhagar above him, and then of course the pursuing fight of a AC-130 versus a propeller airplane, basically.
Just devours that small thing. Just gone like that.
Well, they pulled a little bit of a Matrix 3. He pulled up and then got above the clouds, and they go, oh my god, it's so beautiful up here. And then, like, I guess it sounds like it's different from the books. I guess you can speak to this, Clark, where they said like a lot of it is like in the shows, and Viserys talked about how these people can't control these dragons. The dragons are kind of just allowing them to, and we're starting to see these dragons not give a shit and like realize like I'm the one that's in charge, and that might have been, like I said, I like the action of episode 9 better, but that was probably the biggest like I like gasped out loud seeing Vhagar come out of the clouds.
So on that note, when you say they don't really control the dragon, it's like, okay, in the books they're treated more as like mounts. Like in the show they're like, Aemon was trying to draw him off and not finish off his cousin over here, yeah, no, that's not how it's played out in the books at all. Like they went to fight and he killed him, and now he's a kinslayer. So
and we're not talking about finishing off a cousin like the normal Game of Thrones way. We're talking about but yeah, that was one of it was. I'm sorry, man. Like if you re-watch that scene or like that little clip, he just like first off decimates that dragon. Like one bite. And there were so many, like just 3 pieces just falling down. But he has the wimpiest little. Aemon's been like this little badass, other than like Daemon Jr. basically. And then you just Vhagar chomps down. He just goes, "No!" I was like, it was the little bitchiest little no. But and like because he knows what he did. He just started the war. Like they led up to it as well as. We have to basically prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But we're not going to start this war. And Aemon knows what he did. He just completely fucked up with actually starting that war by drawing blood first.
Yeah, exactly. So great.
And how did you feel about the final turnaround in that scene where they come up, they tell her what happened, and that fucking just her gaze back into the camera right before they cut off for the season.
You know she's going to war at that point. Like it's happening. They've struck first. Now it's time to get after it. I'm kind of curious because in the books it seemed like Daemon had been progressing, setting things up already, making their moves. Yeah. He talks about it in this episode quite a bit, but they don't show him actually taking action. So I can see why they held that back. But yeah, you know it's coming. You know what's happening now. We're going to see a lot of war in the coming season.
I'll be honest. I do get the budget is probably went into a lot of these dragon scenes, but like compared to what we were, I think, kind of hoping for in House of the Dragon and the total amount of dragon scenes, I was a little shocked at the budget that was that much. But all of it was shot. It was very, very visually pleasing. It was very. I thought it was a stellar season. I loved it. It was just one of those, like, I'm surprised it was that much, because, like, once we get to these actual huge battles now, they haven't had a huge, real battle scene. They had the jousting scene at the beginning. It was kind of one-on-one combat a lot of the time. I guess episode 3, when they were on the beach, that was probably the biggest fight scene.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if the budget has to increase once they actually have to have a few battles now that the Civil War started.
Yep. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Absolutely. Right. Anyone that if you've for some reason listened to this and you haven't watched it, I would highly recommend it. And I know I'll be rewatching before season 2. That's for sure.
For sure. Still got a show going on. It's on Wednesdays on Disney. Have you been watching Andor?
I have not, but now that House of Dragon's over, I got to get into Rings of Power, and then everything that I've heard from Andor is everyone's like. I mean, Star Wars fans are kind of getting to the point where it's like, they made it. It's kind of shitty compared to the original trilogy. I've not heard one bad thing about Andor. They go, I'm expecting the letdown, and it keeps getting better.
I think it's been better easily than Boba Fett. Like,
yeah.
Boba Fett was just like corny, a little weird. Yeah. It had some good moments, but it's just like goofy at times. Whereas Andor's it's developing. It gives me a lot of those Rogue One feels. I love Rogue One. Ryan says it many times. He thinks it's his favorite Star Wars movie. He thinks it's the best one out there. And I agree with him. I like it a lot because it shows the non-fantasy part of this world, not the Jedi. Oh, these wizards with, light swords. So these are the people fighting the war, the real war of the rebellion without the amazing abilities. So,
yeah. What happened? I would say. So, what was the latest that happened in this episode here?
So, I mean, kind of the first 6 episodes lead up to a big event where Andor has been essentially recruited by somebody after he's trying to make a sale of a piece he had stolen off of a Imperial ship. So, he's going to make the sale, and the guy actually shows up. He's like, "Hey, I want you to work for me. Come do this." And things go south. The Empire shows up, or not the Empire, but this corporation essentially that's owned by the Empire shows up trying to crack skulls on what's happening here on this planet, and then things go south. They have a lot of people killed, and there's a little bit of story going on with the captain that was kind of leading that investigation. I'm not real sure where it's going yet, but I'm curious about his story. But more importantly, like with Andor, they pull off the heist. So, it's like, hey, this rebellion is actually happening. They just stole 80 million credits. They're making it work. The rebellion needed money to get going, and here it is. So it's going now. It's alive. Those faithful who had been acting kind of on their last threads, hanging on there, hoping.
Yeah.
Now they got some real hope. Like they have something they can really grab onto. So it kind of shows that.
What was this, episode 6 or 7?
I'm not real sure. I think it was number 7. I think it was number 7.
Because I wasn't sure on how long the season, if it was only going to be like 10 episodes, 12 episodes. Honestly, if I can kind of catch up.
I was curious. Ryan said it was going to be 12 because I was hoping, for at most like 8, but Ryan says it's 12 episodes and going to be, I think you said 2 seasons for Andor. So we got a lot left to go. And I mean, it's early in Andor's, I guess, career. You do see him in Rogue One where that comes to an end, but you're seeing how this develops for him and his actions he takes in the rebellion. So he finishes his job, he got paid for it, he took his cut, left him the money. He went back to his planet to essentially like, hey mom, or his adopted mom, the one who found him on this planet where the Empire had killed everybody. He's like, hey, we're ready to go. I got the money. Let's get out of here. And she's like, no, I'm staying. The rebellion's alive. She's like, I haven't been able to walk across town. I'd been taking the back alleys because I was so beaten down. And whenever I heard about that heist, I put on my best coat and walked across the square in front of all those soldiers, just holding my head high. I was so proud. And so he doesn't ever reveal to her that was him that did it. Like he thought he was doing this to, get money, get her out of there, go somewhere they can hide and be safe and enjoy themselves. So, but no, she's like, nope, I'm staying. And so off Andor goes on his own and runs into the Empire again is how that ends. So,
oops.
Yeah. Oops. Oh, wrong place, wrong time. 6 years in prison. Here you go.
Well, I've heard everything good about this show. So I honestly, before I get back into Ring of Power and relearning all the elf names and shit, I think I'm going to get into Andor and get caught up for next week because I've just heard nothing negative, all positive for it. Yeah,
which I mean, Ring of Power, I think it was 8 episodes, maybe 7. It was solid. I enjoyed it. It was very good. I'm not real familiar with the whole Lord of the Rings timeline, so I'm still trying to keep track of what's going on there, and I'm doing research. But I feel like Andor is an easy watch, especially whenever I'm at home on Wednesdays with my daughter, taking care of her. I can just turn it on, feed her a bottle. It's short. It's like I think 30. No, they're 45-minute episodes, but
okay.
I was thinking they were shorter, but
I'd say those hour ones tend to get a little long. I lose focus. I'm on TikTok all the time. I can't focus that long.
Next video. Let's go.
Exactly. So honestly, I would say just kind of transition to the last one. The ADHD portion, unless the mission takes fucking 45 minutes, that's what's been so great about you. You're jumping on this. We're going to jump into Modern Warfare 2, the campaign before multiplayer actually comes out. I think I'm about 75% of the way through. I have been loving 90% of it so far. It has been awesome.
I'm right there with you. I thought the campaign was great. And to me, it's a cinematic experience. Like those cutscenes that they have in there, amazing. I just love the way that they displayed that story.
The cutscenes, it reminds me, I think it was No Way Home. That was the first one that really perfected the overlay of just where's the location, large white print in the middle of the screen here. But I would say, like now on mine, I don't have the Xbox Series S. Is that the big, or X is the large black one that actually runs a lot faster. I have the smaller digital copy one. So there was a couple like glitches that are actually, because it's so well done, you notice the small glitches are when a frame stops. But No, all the cutscenes. I mean, it looks better than most animated movies. And you only have to do 5 minutes. You're only doing a 5 minute cutscene compared to a 90-minute movie. So I understand that. But man, even the gameplay really smooth. There's a couple things that have pissed me off, but it's because it's realistic. Like if you've reloading your gun, you take the clip out, excuse me, magazine clip, whatever you want to call it, out, and then if you're switch guns, it's going to have the clip out next time. You have to still reload it. I would say that one screwed me over in a couple missions, but I do love that where the very realistic part of Call of Duty. Call of Duty, you could do cancel reload and you still have all your bullets. Now you have to complete the whole. You have to think about when you're reloading and not just video game. Play like a video game, I guess.
I'm curious how much of that's going to carry over into the online, the multiplayer.
From what I've seen on the multiplayer, I think it carries over. I think because there's a lot of people are, it's like, and I know for sure on Warzone it will. I just have no doubt because there's been so many times where, you're in those split second fights. That's gonna be the next step is making sure people aren't just quick reloading or they are reloading. You already have the clip completely out. You see them like about to put in the full clip. Someone walks in the door and then you cancel it, and then you're all of a sudden have your half mag left in there. No, I mean, I think they're going to keep it in there, and I think it's a good addition.
Yep. So yeah.
And say as much as I'd love to hear about the ending, I'm like I said, I'm like 75% of the way through. I bet you the good guys win in the end. I'm gonna have to assume, but I've been. Go ahead. Sorry.
How do the good guys win, Bryant?
Yeah. How do they exactly? I mean, it was so reminiscent of. There was a lot of what made the original Modern Warfare 2 good, like the AC-130 mission, the ghillie suit mission. I can't remember if I think there was a chase mission in the original Modern Warfare 2, but they brought a lot of those like same type of missions, but they've just improved on them. And I would say there's a lot more like stealth that's involved on it, and not being able to just run and gun in this one. And I'm playing on the regular difficulty. I'm not even playing on realism. I would quit probably after the first mission. I wouldn't be able to get through it.
I played it all on regular too. Like I just wanted to experience it. I'm not going hard for the old veteran difficulty here. So
no, I probably used to back in the day, but at this point, just enjoy the campaign for what it is, and then pretty soon we'll be able to play multiplayer.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of stealth, a lot of sneaking around. They have you gathering things to craft a few pieces. That's a little new. I'm kind of curious if they're gonna play that into multiplayer at all, if that's just strictly campaign mechanic.
Yeah, I guarantee that was just too much of like. Modern like with.
Oh, if you craft a shiv, you can one hit melee somebody. Ooh, baby, I would actually like that. That'd be sweet. But
hey, you found some duct tape and you snuck up on a guy, or I think if anything they should add, if you sneak up on someone, you can tie their shoelaces together and then they fall over. That's what I think they need.
I did like the old Battlefield 4 thing from when you snuck up somebody, where you would essentially like kill them and take their dog tag. Like I liked that mechanic of Battlefield 4. So
little pull it off, you hear the chain break. That actually sounds pretty cool.
No.
David, is it worth it? I would say I love Call of Duty, so I would say it's worth it. I guess I don't have Clark. You play probably a lot more variety of video games. If you had to compare the campaign on this versus other, I guess other video games, how would you compare it?
Worth it. I was on the fence. I was kind of on the fence, and then I had several friends be like, yeah, we're getting it. We're all about it. And I was like, oh, okay, fine, I'll get it. And then I played the campaign. I'm like, I'm pumped. I am so ready for multiplayer this weekend. Like I love it. It looks like they made that step to the next gen as far as visuals, and just it's smooth. Like I loved it. So I think it's worth it. I'm curious how the multiplayer is going to go, because that's going to be the real measure, is to see if it's worth it. It's new Call of Duty. Everybody's gonna be playing it. If you like those first person shooters, it's worth it. I'm not buying the $100 get your 50 free levels in online. No, it's not worth $100. I don't think.
I can tell you, I did because I want to get that jump up on everyone else on season 1. That's all I need at this point. So,
come on, Bryant.
David, I've never played Hell Let Loose, so I really can't compare. I can tell you the future of multiplayer, though, is going to be, and like a lot of video games, unfortunately, is microtransactions. They're all making the kits, and they're all making these new gun skins. Fortnite started it, and, good on them. I always used to make fun of them on like, oh my god, so you want to buy the skin so you can look like a banana? And then now here I am, I'm buying a skin because it looks like Rambo, from the 2 Call of Duties ago. And, I'm buying this gun because it has a tracer and it looks cool when you inspect it. I mean, that's where it's heading. So I do like the multiplayer now. I guess I'll have to play it myself. Is you can grind one certain gun and you get the specific attachment that can go on to different, like, classification of gun, I guess, if you would. Like, this one, it works on the AK-74U, but also the AK-47. Like, there's a family of guns. So it sounds like grinding for guns is going to be a little different, but the end game that they're all heading towards, multiplayer, whatever. How is this going to transition into battle royale? That made them so much fucking money that they bloated that carcass, and it's been sitting in the sun. There's flies. Caldera is terrible. Caldera, there has been a lot of glitches. They're finally getting it, right, but you're now in the last 5 months of the lifespan of this thing before everyone jumps to Warzone 2.
And it is, so I'm looking forward to it, Bryant, because Warzone 2, so, they put out their first product. They've gathered all this information. They've taken the feedback, and this is how they've improved. That's what I'm looking forward to is, the refining of that game mode.
And I just hope, and I hope they
better have Rebirth.
What's that?
It better have Rebirth. That's all I played in
Rebirth. Rebirth and Fortune's Keep is a lot faster than what I'm used to. Normal battle royale, you got your 30-minute, play span compared to like you're finishing this game in a third of the time, and also that guy you just killed, he's gonna respawn in 4 seconds. He's coming right back for you. So there's a lot more speed to it. I enjoy both if I'm if you're in the right mindset, but it'll be interesting to see, like you said, the feedback that they took from 1 and make it better for Modern Warfare 2. And I just pray they do not bloat this thing. Just make Warzone 3 before you put 3 games worth, because then you have 3 different, games of balancing guns. And it just turns into you have to buy the newest game to have the best guns because we're going to make the best ones on the new one that you have to buy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm really excited for it though.
I'm pumped, but I started playing a game like last week before the campaign released, and it's kind of still got me hooked, Brian. I started playing Hard Space Shipbreaker. It's a solo game from Blackbird Interactive from Focus Home Entertainment. It's on Game Pass. You can try it out for free if you got Game Pass, but it's got me. If you like games with kind of realistic physics and kind of a little crazy space fantasy story, this one's gonna be right up your alley.
Would you recommend Game Pass? Isn't it $15 a month?
For Game Pass Ultimate, it is $15 a month. That includes your live, so your online access for Xbox, and then $5 that is your Xbox Game Pass. And then if you're paying for Ultimate, then you also are going to get, I think, EA Play, and EA Play is the big one, I guess, in that Ultimate category. But Ultimate also gives you PC Pass. I do have a gaming PC that gets used sometimes. So I'm a fan. I paid my $15. I've been a fan of Game Pass since it launched. The fact that Microsoft started buying studios, which they better get Activision. Screw you, Sony, you freaking harlots.
Never give us Spider-Man in any of our games. God damn it.
Yeah, don't give us any Spider-Man. You bitch and moan about Microsoft buying Activision. Oh, they're gonna kill Sony. Oh, we're gonna die if they get Activision. Oh, they're gonna make it where they have exclusive content. Oh, buy it now on PlayStation. Get these operators exclusive.
Yeah, get these exclusive operators. You get all the Spider-Man games. We get none. We get a shitty Avengers game that the Spider-Man ain't even good. Go fuck yourself, Sony. No, I'm just kidding. I would say I do hate that. I hope that Game Pass starts leading to like one of my buddies. We played through Detroit Become Human on PlayStation, and I love that game. Like I wish there was more games, I guess, that had that level. Like I think isn't it Ghosts of oh goodness gracious, I'm blanking on the name now.
Ghosts of like Tsushima or something, or
yeah, that's it. But I would say
sashimi, sushi. What was it?
Sushami. I don't know. But I would say I know they've got a few games that are exclusive to PlayStation. It's like, well, sorry, Xbox is finally jumping in and wanting to compete in that. So
yeah.
Well, I think when my year of gold ends, I think I might just jump in on that. $15 a month, but you get all these extra games because right now, playing the one Call of Duty and gets old.
I did it good because back in the day when they were first getting Game Pass going, you could upgrade your subscription to Microsoft Ultimate subscription for $1 a month. And so I bought like 3 years worth of subscription and then upgraded for the $1 a month. So
fuck yeah. Dude.
But that's ran out, and I'm like, this $15 is worth it. I'll just pay it.
Well, hell yeah. Well, like I said, I think I'm gonna jump into it, but yeah, David, I guess long-winded, we would recommend it.
If you like a variety of games, worth it. If you're gonna be like kind of on the fence, maybe I'll try this game, maybe I'll try that. Definitely worth it. If you're locked down, you're like, all I play is Call of Duty. No, it's not gonna be worth it. But if you play 2 new games a year that come out on Game Pass, which they have a lot of games, they have a lot of different studios under the belt. It's worth it. So. And they do get older games from other studios, just not on release date. A lot of their in-house studios, Game Pass day one.
Nice. Well, hell yeah, dude. Was there anything else you want to jump into, or you want to end her there?
Let's wrap her up, Bryant.
Yeah. Well, again, we do appreciate you, you guys that jumped in and live following us and adding to the conversation here. And definitely, if you do have questions while we are live, go ahead and send them over. And again, for our other lives that we have later this week, I think we're going to do Road 272 Wednesday at 8:30 at night, at 8:30 Central Time. For some reason, some of us in our group decide that Mountain Time is the standard time, but we won't discuss who that is. And then Thursday we're going to do college football live stream again, 8:30 as well. So if you do want to join us, again, YouTube, it's going to be Pulse of the Heartland, Facebook, Pulse of the Heartland. And then Instagram and Twitter at Heartland Pulse. We try and post some funny memes, post when we're smoking meat, stuff like that. So if you do join us, be sure to like, subscribe, and we do appreciate every single one of you.
And this is a football pod, and I just want to say that the Chicago Bears just picked off the Patriots again. It is ugly in Foxborough right now.
The 33-14 Bears are about to hit the over themselves, dude.
Oh, easy.
Well, good on them. We've shit on them a lot. And let's think of the other side. It's the Patriots. I mean, they've had their dynasty in their lifetime. Sorry, we get to shit on you now. You get to lose to the Bears. So.
Yep. Sorry, everybody. Your money's gone this week if you took the Pats. All right.
Appreciate you guys.